Good morning and happy Monday to everyone who's watching us. I am joined today by Raneem.
Good morning, guys.
Which is very exciting, and we do have a lot of things to uncover for you today. So we're going to start with our headlines. Emirates is increasing maternity leaves and salaries from July, which is exciting.
Super exciting. Dubai private schools are ranked second in the world for financial literacy.
And as well, UAE gas prices are decreasing in July.
And stay tuned because Samsung has teamed up with 6 iconic talents to empower Gen Z through self-expression. So we'll be telling you about that.
And later on, we're going to be celebrating India's T20 World Cup victory, which has been waited for so long. We're going to have insights from Mr. Cricket. So it's 268 days since the genocide began on October 7 in Gaza. The current death toll stands at 37,877. The number of injured people is 86,969, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes. But before we start with our news for the day, I want to ask Raneem, when you fly, how do you, I would say, waste time on the airplane?
I feel like you have your standard things, right? So I get in, I set up my space. Probably I'm watching a movie or two, depending on how long the flight is, having a snack, something like that. You?
Well, there is a trend on all over social media about raw dogging, which is you go on the flight and you do nothing. Nothing. You don't even watch a movie. You don't do nothing. You just sit. You can watch the airplane and where it moves and so on. It's all over the socials, which is why I've been wondering why is that on TikTok that people are flying and monitoring where their flights is heading.
So what's the trend called? It's called raw dogging.
Yes.
Okay. That is extremely weird. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but that sounds really boring. I don't know. That's really a challenge.
It is because when you're on the airplane, you tend to think of what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get bored. How am I? And specifically, by the way, if it's on long flights.
Yeah, of course. Imagine sitting there if it's a 7-hour flight and you're just literally sitting there not moving and just watching the plane take off. That's literally wild. Okay.
That is wild. However, I feel honestly, it gives you a lot of space to sit and think. What would you think about if you would be raw dogging? What would you think about? What would you do? Just watch the plane and do nothing and think about nothing?
I feel I would start to think about life, which is not what I want to be doing on a flight. I feel that much time alone, I don't know, you'd start getting a little bit anxious, maybe start reflecting on future scenarios that could possibly happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because when I get on an airplane, one thing that I would do is already previously, figure out in my head what movie will I watch, or what book will I read, which I will be getting with me, or even maybe have some music.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Some music, because it takes, I don't know, it wastes time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to have a plane playlist for sure.
And you get really bored on the airplane. So I think this trend is kind of wild. It's kind of crazy. So I would really want to know, what do you guys do on,
on your flights,
on your plane, on your flights? Because it's really not. I would say it's not easy to I don't know, waste a lot of time and make it seem like you're having the most fun of your life doing nothing, raw dogging. What do you think of the, I would say?
Raw dogging. I mean, if you're traveling with your friends, it's always a little more fun. It helps you waste time.
You talk because the more that you talk, the more that you waste time, the more that you have a lot of things to talk about.
But yeah.
How would you handle raw dogging?
I mean, I guess I would just kind of like sit there and stare into space, literally. Like maybe open my window, look at the views. But I feel like I'd fall asleep at some point. Is sleeping allowed? Can you sleep or no?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can.
That's fine then, maybe.
But still, I think maybe, the thing is like for me, I don't think it would work for me because if I would sit, I do have a lot of anxiety. Like I would want to control everything in my life.
Yeah.
So if I would sit and watch the airplane and where it's heading and all of the details, I would be like, oh my God, are we gonna land safe? Are we safe?
Exactly.
Are we doing well? Are we not doing well? Which I think would be kind of like a hassle on me and on the cabin crew and everyone.
I feel like you'd like jump into an existential crisis, which
that is true.
What you want like on a flight. So I'm not going to be raw dogging it.
I mean,
interested to see who does.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I might. But speaking of that and airplanes, let's jump to our first story. Emirates is increasing maternity leaves and salaries from July. So under the directives of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, CEO and founder of the Emirates Group, Emirates employees will be given a 4% increase in their basic salary, a 4% increase in their transportation allowance, a 10% to 15% increase in substances and accommodation allowance. UAE nationals, of course, national allowances will also increase.
Okay, so Emirates also extended the paid maternity leave from 60 to 90 days, increased the breastfeeding break period for new mothers from 1 to 2 hours a day, and increased the paid parental leave from 5 to 10 working days.
Now, Emirates will also increase education support allowance by 10% starting September 1, 2024, which let me tell you, by the way, if you work in Emirates, we envy you.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, this is like a really, really big deal.
It is.
Honestly.
It really is. I mean, like, the cabin crew already have a great salary.
Yeah.
And everyone who works in Emirates already have a great salary and a lot of good benefits.
Yeah.
And with that coming, it just, like, makes me think in a way, like, this is, like, actually really doing well.
Yeah, I think especially in terms of like maternal and parental leave, like that's huge, right? Like you obviously definitely want to have as much time as you can. It's really difficult going back to work when you have a baby for both sets of parents. So
that is true.
I think it's a really, really great initiative, honestly. Like I'd like to see more companies doing that as well, actually.
100%, because like at this point, Emirates, I think we have seen Emirates grow over the years in a lot of aspects. And with that, I think maybe as well the fact that like they have grown a lot, they give back a lot, and when they are giving back a lot, people who are actually traveling through Emirates or even working at Emirates are getting back.
Yeah.
So yes, Emirates is growing, and you guys are growing as well.
Yeah, I'm sure you definitely get some really loyal employees that way as well, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Obviously looking out for their benefit is always the best. I think your sister is cabin crew as well,
she
right?
is.
To tie into this.
Yes, so Marah, I don't think she's watching me, she's on a flight.
Okay.
But if my sister is watching me and your salary is increasing, you better get me a gift. My birthday's coming up very soon.
Okay,
so.
you heard it here, Mara.
Literally, I mean, I'm expecting, and I already have everything set in stone, so I'm expecting a great gift from her since her salary is supposed to, I don't know, increase.
Okay, perfect. So this new Emirates announcement is great for Farah as well as everyone else.
Exactly. I mean, I am getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But let's jump to our next story. So the Dubai private schools ranked second in the world for financial literacy. Schools teach students the basics of each subject, but it often misses to teach them how to apply these skills to real-life situations. But it looks like Dubai private schools don't have that problem. In fact, Dubai private schools ranked second in the world for financial literacy and sixth for creative thinking.
Yeah, so this is according to a study conducted as part of the program for international International Student Assessment, PISA, 2022 by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Dubai actually participated in the additional financial literacy and creative thinking domains for the first time in 2022.
Now, Dubai private schools ranked second out of 20 participating countries and regions for financial literacy, as Renee mentioned in the PISA 2022 study, scoring 522 points compared to the OECD global average of 498 points, which, by the way, this is a great thing for the kids.
Yeah.
You know, like you do see, like, yes, kids are learning a lot of creative writing, math, and all of these things, but can they apply that to their future? And financial awareness is so important.
100%.
To everyone, you know, like, it's like, how many times, how often do you guys sit and think, oh my God, I wish I learned that at school?
I was just gonna say that. How many times now as an adult do you wish, like, I really wish we had, like, gone through this in school, right?
Yeah.
Like earlier in our childhood. And I think financial literacy is something that goes unnoticed a lot.
That is true.
The fact that Dubai schools are ranked second in the world is like huge, because like you're talking, like there's some really, really strong countries in terms of obviously like where they're ranked in education, but it's amazing, honestly.
It is, because as well, this just like gives me the confirmation that the UAE is actually investing in its students, because they know that the students and the youngsters are the future of Dubai and the UAE as a whole, and which is how like the UAE really we have seen the UAE become like one of the best countries to live in, and specifically Dubai, you guys, it's like one of the safest countries, one of the best countries, one of the best everything really at this point. And the fact that the kids are learning financial literacy is just like at this point good for them, because as they grow up as adults, maybe they would not be aware of it right now, but as you said, I now sit and think like, oh, I wish I learned this at school.
Yeah, totally. Like, I wonder at what age they actually start kind of diving deep into learning about these things.
100%.
I wonder if they start them young or if it's just when you're a little bit older. But I really do think that like starting to learn about this stuff when you're younger makes such a difference. Because as you said, right, like we always hear global rankings in terms of like literacy in general and things like that. But yeah, financial literacy is key for life.
Agreed. And speaking of that, you guys, if you guys own a car, this might be the best news for you, because UAE gas prices are decreasing in July 2024. So UAE motorists can rejoice as gas prices are set to decrease across the board. Effective immediately, drivers will benefit from lower costs at the pump. Super 98 petrol will be priced at $2.99 per liter, down from 3.14 dirhams in June. Special 95 petrol drops to 2.88 per liter, dropped from 3.02, and E plus 91 petrol decreased to 2.8 per liter from 2.95.
That's a lot of numbers.
It is.
And diesel sees a slight increase to 2.89 AED per liter as well, compared to 2.88 last month. So these adjustments come as welcome news, obviously, for residents and businesses alike, offering, you know, relief amid ongoing economic challenges. Of course, it's really, really difficult. Anyone who owns a car, drives a car, knows the struggle, how much gas prices have been fluctuating over the past year. And news like this is definitely something they're gonna be.
It is. It's like it's music to everyone's ear. You know what I mean? It's like, because like I understand for everyone, like when they are filling up gas and then it's like a lot of money, you know, like they might be like not significant, but when you are like having like a full 100, it is for sure significant. It's for sure significant. And do you drive?
So I don't drive, no, yet, but obviously I do have other modes of transportation, and I think it still does affect, like, even if you're taking taxis and stuff, the gas prices will impact like how much you end up paying at the end of the day. So it is obviously to our favor as well. I know, obviously, I don't think you drive either, but like for our friends that do drive,
that's true. It's good for you guys.
It's great for you guys.
It's good for you guys.
We are
actually.
happy for you. But yeah, like we know the struggle, especially anyone who drives like long distances, right? And in Dubai, you're spending a lot of your time on the road, as we know, getting from place to place. So you're filling up your gas tank a lot.
Literally, it's like you fill it up, and then the next thing that you know, you need to fill up again because like it's full because you're around running and it's just like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And everyone's really happy. Like in the comments, a lot of people are like, "Oh, love it," and someone had like that emoji because like, yay, it's like, yay, finally. But you guys, it's like honestly, it's really good for everyone who drives a car and
owns a car
and
wants to own a car or is looking to buy a car, for example, but they may be hesitant because factoring in all the costs, you know, might impact how much you can actually spend on your new car, but this might just change things up for you.
Agreed. Well, so now let's jump to our next story. So Samsung teamed up with 6 iconic talents to empower Gen Z through self-expression in an exciting collaboration, Flippin' Possible. Samsung and Anghami teamed up to captivate Gen Z with the Galaxy Z Flip 5, the ultimate tool for self-expression.
Yeah, so they teamed up with 3 music artists who you guys might know, Silawi, Flipperacci, and Lamia Al-Malki, for their songs titled Love of the City, Flippin' Possible, and Aisha Hayati. And all the artists were adding their own unique genre and spin to the songs.
As well, now the collab was taken to the next level with creative spin by designer Ibrahim Zaki and talented choreographers Nahmat Abdelhalik and Joyce Emil. Which, by the way, the goal of the Flippin' Possible was to inspire Gen Z to share their stories of self-expression, positioning to the Galaxy Z Flip 5 as the ultimate trendy phone, celebrating, which is honestly at this point, it's like, I love how there are a lot of campaigns and they are getting a lot of people from Gen Z together.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, honestly, and this campaign, I mean, I've been doing a lot of, you know, research about it. It's actually a super interesting one because they're kind of going out of the box, right? Like, as you said, we see a lot of different campaigns and a lot of different, you know, ideas and things like that. But this one was really special because it's promoting like self-expression as a whole. They teamed up with some really, really cool artists to do something super inspirational as well. And I don't think we've seen anything like it previously or like something similar to that. Obviously, the whole thing was promoting the Galaxy Z Flip 5 and that's amazing. It's like a super duper, super cute phone. You can fit it in your pocket, love it. But the songs are really great as well, which is like really what I love.
I mean, honestly, I love how they are just like getting Gen Z into it because I talk about how powerful this generation is.
Totally.
And I can for sure, you know what, we should like, the phone is very tiny and very cute
super
and just
cute,
can be like
compact.
put in the pocket, which is very, I would say, convenient for you.
Totally.
If you are Gen Z. They got Gen Z because they know that Gen Z are the most people that do spend time on their phones, which is exciting, of course, for them. So this one is very convenient.
Super, super amazing, honestly. And we actually were at an event last week that they held where they were kind of like announcing this collaboration. There was the artists were there, Salawi, Flipperacci, and Lamia. And it was just like super cool, honestly. We got to actually speak with Flipperacci as well. Me and Masa attended. And yeah, it was really nice to see like the artists behind the campaign and hear their thoughts as well. So definitely check it out, guys. Check out all their socials, and we got some deets on it on Lovin Dubai, so check that out for sure.
Yes, for sure. Don't forget, if you want, I don't know, better content, you can get the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip phone, which is amazing. And I want to tell you something. Let's move from Samsung to something that has been on hold for 17 years.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, for sure.
Cricket. After 17 years, you guys, India won the World Cup, the T20 World Cup, which is exciting. And speaking of that, we are going to be joined after this short break celebrating India's T20 World Cup victory. We're going to get insights from Mr. Cricket, so stay tuned.
Super exciting.
You want to do my mic testing or what? It's been done.
Hello and welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, celebrating India's T20 World Cup victory. We have insights from Mr. Cricket, Anis Sajan, Mr. Anis Sajan, which is very exciting. Welcome to the show, Mr. Anis. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Farah. A very good morning to all your listeners. And very happy that the monkeys of the back won this T20 World Cup after winning the inaugural World Cup in 2007.
Wow.
So 17 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And we've played in between 16 IPLs. So the expectations was a lot from the fans, as there was a lot of burden also on the players. So finally, as I said, the monkeys of the back, it must be a relief for the captain, Rohit Sharma, as well as all the players.
I mean, as you said, of course, 17 years.
Long time in the making. Yeah.
That is true. You know, you must have had a lot of, I would say, practices to reach that. So my first question is, how do you feel about this one?
Well, as a fan or a cricket expert, definitely very happy. Like, we've been waiting for it. I'll just go back 1 year. In 2023, we had a World Cup, which was a 50-over World Cup. And that was played in your own country, in India. We won all the matches. That is 10 matches back-to-back and won convincingly. And in the finals, we were expected to win. It was like we were favorites, clear favorites. And there is where Australia turned up on the finals and pip India at the post.
Okay.
So it was like 1.4 billion hearts broken. And there were tears. Everybody felt that, no, we are chokers. We can't win across the final hurdle. So this was so important that immediately a World Cup come, and it showed that India were the right team because they've been playing consistent cricket, good cricket. They won all their matches. And in the final, even though it was a close game, anybody could have won. It could have been South Africa. As an Indian, I'm feeling good now, but I can feel for South African because they also came close. But in the end, we just held our nerves and we won.
No, honestly, it was amazing. And what do you think are some of the, main components or factors that helped you guys with the win?
I'm glad you asked me this question. In 2022, the T20 World Cup was played in Australia, where in the semi-finals, we were hammered by England by 10 wickets. When you say hammered by England by 10 wickets, in cricketing terms, we were beaten soundly. And at that time, Rohit Sharma, who was the captain that time and currently who is the captain, decided to change the template how we played, because we were playing the fearless type of cricket at that time. When I say fearless, it was a bit of timid type of cricket. From that time onwards, he made a template that we're going to go fearful, go bang bang, not going to worry about the result. And it could be seen till the finals where we were playing that sort of cricket, making sure that we were up against the opposition. And in the final, there were moments where we slowed down, but now that we have won, you can't complain about it.
Yeah, obviously, it's like an incredible win, like regardless
100%.
of how you guys got there. But yeah, definitely. Okay, so then obviously you had a lot of key players contributing to this win, right? Like some maybe favorites of yours, but which ones do you think really, really stood out in this game?
Cricket is a team game. There are 11 players on the field and there are people on the back end who do the help. But like you asked me, who were responsible for winning? I would say all the 11 players, because everybody contributed in some way or the other. Obviously, the man of the match was Virat Kohli, who hadn't scored a run in the whole tournament. He was struggling. He had scored 76 runs in some 8 odd games at a strike rate of less than 100. So there was a lot of expectation. So he's known as India's biggest match player, and he contributed in the finals. People were expecting. And obviously the captain, Rohit Sharma, who was smart. But if you have to ask me, one guy who actually was responsible for India winning this World Cup and losing it, or rather, was Jasprit Bumrah, who bowled like a champion throughout the tournament. His economy was less than 4.5. Like in cricketing terms, you can accept this economy of 4.5 in a test cricket. Forget an ODI. So to bowl at that economy was mind-blowing. Only he could have done it. Like we've heard about a show called how to become a millionaire. So there is a lifeline.
Okay.
You get lifelines to ask a friend, or there are lifelines. So in Indian, we call him as the lifeline. The captain approaches him and he always delivers.
Wow. Okay.
So of course, like I can imagine how watching the match for sure kept you like on the edge. So what is a moment that you recall kept you like on edge? Like, like, oh my God, like, are we gonna lose? Are we gonna win?
We had almost lost the game. We had scored some 177 in 20 overs. South Africa, after 15 overs, were just requiring 13 runs. 30 runs of 30 balls, which is run a ball with 6 wickets in hand. Then comes Hardik Pandya. I'm talking about Hardik Pandya. Why? Because this was the same player who was trolled, abused by the fans because of franchise cricket captainship, which he had taken about for Mumbai Indians, replacing the current Indian captain. So the fans didn't like him. Every city he went, he was trolled badly. He came on, bowled the first ball, gets a wicket.
Yes.
And the match turned around because he got that big wicket. And then India never looked back. And I'm afraid South Africa, I don't want to use the word chokers, they succumbed under the pressure.
That's a lot of pressure, but who do you think handled the most pressure in the best way possible in the final?
I will again repeat all the players, but it has to go to the captain because he was calm. We felt he was a little late to get that main bowler just with Bumrah. But finally, when you win, you forget about what has been done right or wrong. It's the results. We as pundits or fans talk about or go with the emotions after the results. Had India lost, probably I would have been saying here that no, Rohit Sharma brought Bumrah late. Yeah. Or I would say Virat Kohli probably played a touch slow. But in the end, it's the result what decides our expertise, not the process.
Yeah, 100%. Do you feel like there was like a moment in time or like a shift in that game when the fans, including yourself, kind of were like, okay, no, we got this. We got this win?
I would rather put it the other way. There was a moment in the match. After 14 overs, South Africa, who were chasing 177, were around 130. In the 15th over, I, as an expert or a fan, was wanting Jasprit Bumrah to come. I was talking about the bowler who was bowling superbly. He bowled, gave the ball to another spinner who went for 24 runs, which is huge. And at that time, we said the match is done and dusted. But as Almighty would say, he brought Jasprit Bumrah. He didn't get a wicket in that over.
Okay.
He bowled a good over where he conceded just 4 or 5 runs. And then comes Hardik Pandya, whom I was talking about, when trolled. India did play smart at that time. When I say smart, they slowed down the game. The wicketkeeper probably had a niggle, we wouldn't know, but he slowed down the game. So when you slow down the game, because this T20 game is a very fast format, it goes very fast. So when you slow down the momentum, even though it was for 3 minutes, that momentum became slow. And the over which Hardik Pandya bowled, he got that key wicket of Klaasen, who was playing on a different planet. He was like scoring runs at will and almost won the match. And then the match turned around.
Okay. Speaking of that, were there any risky moves that have been done at the game that you think paid off?
Oh yes, that's what I said. Rohit Sharma, after the 2022 loss to England by 10 wickets, had decided that we are going to play fearless cricket. Now there is a thin line between fearless and reckless cricket.
Yeah.
When it comes out, you say, yeah, wow, they played very good. But if you fold in quickly, like you get out quickly, you will say, what is wrong? They don't know how to play according to the situation. So, as I said, we fans or probably experts talk after the game. But it's the players who have the mantle of expectations. And India is a cricket-loving nation. Cricket-mad nation. Like how in UK, football, yesterday England were on the brink of defeat to Slovakia. And in the end, in the last minute, he scored the goal. Had they lost, they would have blamed England didn't play, blah, blah, blah. And this is what happened in this finals. Because India have been coming up to the finals. In the last 3 years, they reached 3 finals, but they lost all. So this is something was very important for them to win. And fortunately for both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, who announced their retirement, that they are going out with a win. So that is something they can never forget. Just like Messi in his last World Cup, he won it for Argentina.
100%. I think there's no better feeling than that. And I think with each kind of like World Cup as well, in this instance, you know, the fans, we saw the reactions. It's amazing. Is there a moment that you think is going to go down in history? Like, you know, that one viral moment that people will continue to talk about for like years and years to come?
Yes. In the last over, South Africa needed 15 runs to win, rather 16 runs to win. And this form of cricket, 25 runs are also scored. The first ball bowled by Hardik Pandya to David Miller, who is one of the finest finishers of the game. He hit a ball right in the boundary. We all felt it's a 6. And he said, oh my God, it's gone. Somehow, there's a player called Surya Kumar Yadav. He comes up, plucks the catch out of thin air and makes sure he doesn't touch the boundary rope. Because if he touches the boundary rope, it's a 6. Okay. He keeps his nerve, throws the ball outside and then takes the catch. And that is where we won the match. Otherwise, it would have been done and dusted.
Wow, amazing.
So there were many moments, but if I had to pick one moment, Surya Kumar Yadav's catch to dismiss David Miller at the boundary and plucking out a catch which was impossible made India win this match. And probably I'm sorry for South Africa. And I'm saying why sorry for South Africa?
That's okay.
Because they are a country who've been playing cricket now since 1992. They've come to many semi-finals. This was their first final. There was a lot of expectations from their fans and their cricketers too.
Sure.
And they were literally in tears. And the player who was caught on the last over, David Miller, was in tears after he got out in that time, not even before the match got over.
Yeah.
Literally crying.
It's emotional, definitely.
So we have talked about the win, but who do you think young emerging cricket players from the team you think are going to be the future? You know, like since a lot of players will be retiring and so on.
So as I mentioned, you know, the big boys, the 3 big boys, Rohit Sharma, the captain, Virat Kohli, you know, who's been the main player for Team India for so many years. And Ravindra Jadeja, who's also associated, all retired. There are youngsters in the team like Shivam Dubey, who had a decent tournament. Then Ashdeep Singh, the unsung hero. Why I'm saying because he got the highest number of wickets, 17 wickets. And then we have got players like Sanju Samson, who didn't get an opportunity to play in this tournament, as well as Jaiswal. And there were guys who were, as 3 players India had taken as a backup. They also didn't get chance, like Rinku Singh. They were all expected to make the cut, but did not. But there's one guy called Shubman Gill, who is supposed to replace Virat Kohli in this format. And he must be really hoping that he carry on his legacy of this great player, Virat Kohli.
Absolutely.
Well, I would like to say congratulations again.
Yeah. And thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, I feel like I could listen to you talk about this for hours. Your passion is incredible for the game.
I mean, we can feel it. It's like...
Definitely.
For sure, which is why, you know, like initially I told you, like, I would want everyone who's watching us to listen to all of this. But thank you so much for joining us, Mr.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you to Lovin Dubai for inviting me. You know what, I had to travel today. But I said when it comes to cricket, cricket is my passion. I eat, breathe and sleep cricket. So I'm flying tomorrow morning. Thank you very much to you guys.
Thank you, of course.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sajan. And thank you so much, Renim, for joining me today. And thank you all. Tune us tomorrow, same time, same place.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Bye.